Hello, I'm Andrew Fisher, Asset Lead with Syngenta for Quadris, Quilt Xcel fungicides. And I'm out today in central Ohio. What I want to talk to you about is the crop enhancement benefits from early applications in corn. When I say early applications, it's timing between V4 and V8. The reason we're interested in looking at the crop enhancement benefits at this stage is this is the time the plant's deciding how large of an ear it's going to throw for the year. Now, it's interesting some of the results we're seeing from Quilt Xcel, and they really center around 6 principles. First is enhanced plant growth. We often see the plant is taller, greener, and canopies the rows quicker in the treated versus the untreated. This is extremely important when you think about assisting us with our weed control throughout the year. We'll also see enhanced greening. This is helping us with additional photosynthesis versus untreated. This is extremely important in making sure we're enhancing our photosynthesis, bringing nutrients to the ear for maximizing our yield at the end of the year. Next, I'd like to talk to you about enhanced root development. Again, in the treated versus untreated, we see a more robust root under the plants, where the Quilt Xcel at an early timing is assisting the plant to maximize its root development, which is very important when you think about maximizing not only your water that is available, but also the nutrients from the fertilizer that we've applied. Important this year was stress tolerance to dry weather. When you think about periods of dry weather for a week to 2 weeks and heat stress, you can often see in this early application, the treated versus the untreated, the leaves in the untreated will be rolled in the heat of the day, and whereas in the treated with Quilt Xcel, they were still open, maximizing sunlight and photosynthesis. Also, something farmers are talking more and more about these days is harvestability. And in the treated versus untreated, we often see a very big difference in this area. As you can see here, the treated versus the untreated, much difference in the stalk, not only diameter, but overall healthiness of the stalk. And it's just it's able to stand longer later in the season if you get delayed with harvest, or if you get an unfortunate windstorm, it's also showing a lot of benefits in assisting that crop to stand in the field. One of the things you'll see a little later in the year is delayed senescence. This is extremely important because the longer we can keep that plant greener, it helps us in the tip fill, so maximizing out the fill of the corn ear. And what you'll see here in the treated versus the untreated, again treated, much more full, larger ear, improved girth as well, but it's keeping that plant greener longer in the year and therefore enhancing our tip fill. Remember, at our planting populations today, an additional 2.5 kernels equals an additional bushel per acre on your farm. And as you can see here, we've picked up much more than just 2.5 kernels per ear. And last but not least, I said delaying the disease from entering in the field. This early application will not control late infestations of gray leaf spot or northern corn leaf. But what we do see is the crop is healthier and therefore better to tolerate and defend itself against disease coming in. And it really goes a long ways in delaying the disease from entering the crop. But if you do have the right conditions and heavy disease do come in your field, then at that point we have an R1 application which you could come back across with and make sure we get the disease cleaned up to finalize and finish maximizing your yield for the season. So with that, this is pretty new. We've been experimenting with it about 3 to 4 years now here in the U.S. And if you haven't split a field, I would encourage you to take half a field, treat it at a V4 to V8 timing with Quilt Xcel, and look out for these benefits that I've described here this morning. Thank you for your time.